Hi guys, Redneck Wannabe here. I hope all is well with you and your family today. So if you'll recall, about almost 8 weeks ago, I put out a video about how I'm a chicken mogul now. I'm not a cattle baron, I'm a chicken mogul. So I thought I would just do a follow-up to that and just show you, show the chickens, tell you what I've learned, some of the things that, that hopefully you could do, and I'm going to hopefully do better in the future. But, we're almost 8 weeks, so I think 8, 9 weeks, somewhere right in there, I will take the chickens and have them slaughtered. And my plan is I was going to take, the original plan is I was going to take one bird and I was going to take it to friends and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, spread the word, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if I'm going to do that now. I think what I'm going to do is it just through word of mouth, people are starting to find out what I'm doing. Like my daughter's Spanish teacher at co-op, she said something about, oh, your dad's doing chickens. Well, I want one, so I'm gonna give her one, and hopefully she can spread the word. But a friend of mine gave me this idea. So I'm gonna turn this around. So here are microgreens. These are basically radishes, and in about 10 to 14 days they will sprout up to like this. Now what he is doing is he is selling these to really just friends that he knows, teachers mainly, and he's selling them for $4 for this little thing, $4 for this little thing. And what they're doing is they're just clipping this, and they're putting them in their salads and stuff like that. Well, the more I got to thinking about this, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to do the same thing. But the more I got to thinking about this, I'm going to use this as a leader, so to speak. So in other words, and also, here, let me back up. I'm also going to go to a couple yoga studios. And my initial plan was take a couple frozen birds and just take to the yoga, instructor, manager, whatever, and just tell them, hey, if you know somebody, have them give me a call, because typically yoga people, from the way I understand it, are clean eaters, healthy eaters, all that. But what I thought, I'm just going to take some of these microgreens, and that way I don't have to quote unquote waste a bird, and just take the microgreens to the yoga studio and just tell them, hey, by the way, here's some microgreens, and by the way, I also have produce, I have chickens, you name it, and we'll see what happens. Now that's theory. I haven't done it yet. I was going to do that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So I'll let you know how that goes. But as far as the chickens go, here's what I've learned. Over the almost 8 week time frame, they will have gone through 5 bags, 50-pound bags of chicken food. So one thing I've learned is each chicken will go through about 5 pounds of food. So number one, what I've learned is be careful with where you buy your feed, because I was buying a bag of feed for $25 here at the local feed store. But a friend of mine said, oh man, I'm buying my 50-pound non-GMO for I think $10, $11. So I ended up buying some from him, and that's where I'm going to buy my feed, is from the same place he's buying it. So if I were just to buy it through the local feed store, we're looking at $5 of feed per bird. But with the place where my buddy was telling me, that drops it down to about $2. So there's $3 per bird that I'm able to profit. So number one, I've learned that. Number two is I've learned that I need a lot more grass than I have. So right here, this is where the last few days that I've kept the birds, and you can see, man, it's basically a scorched earth. And so what I did is I put down winter rye around here, thinking, man, this is, the more grass I can have, the better. But it does not last long at all. I mean, you can just see, the poo. I mean, if you've never raised meat birds, man, they are they're disgusting animals. You think chickens are dirty? Those things are dirty. So Number one is be careful where you buy your feed. Number two is you definitely, and I just moved them, so they've got some fresh grass. Number two, you need a lot of grass. Number three, these things are filthy. I mean, you can just see all the poo caked in here. So what I've done is I've surrounded this whole thing with chicken wire. I think what I'm going to do is, and I'm okay with making mistakes right now because I'm, you know, here's 25 birds. And I knew I was going to make mistakes. I knew this wasn't going to be perfect. I knew I was probably just going to break even, if not lose a little bit of money here on this go around. But I can learn for the future. So, excuse me. So I think what one thing that I've learned is on the chicken tractor, I'm going to use welded wire. So my plan is I'm going to take a chicken tractor out to the farm, and I've spread winter rye down up there, but now I'm understanding that I'm going to need a lot more grassy area to do this. So, but number one, I'm going to make the chicken tractor out of welded wire because my thinking is with the chicken wire, it's closer and things just get more compact and the poop can't go down and the chickens have a tough time, eating the grass. And so I'm thinking with welded wire that's going to do a little bit better. Also, I think with predators, that's going to be a lot stronger than chicken wire. So speaking of predators, I haven't had any whatsoever in the last 7 weeks. So we'll see what happens over the next week or two until I take them to slaughter. So, I think that's about it. But again, if you've never done anything with meat birds, they are just disgusting. So, 25 birds. It's pretty tight in there, but you can do it. So they go through a ton of water. I think that's it. So microgreens, yoga, chicken wire. I'm thinking to myself out loud, you definitely need a lot more grass. Be careful with your food, your food costs, and I guess a couple things that I've learned. And I don't remember if I put this on the last video or not. But in the state of Texas, I have to have a state-approved processing facility. I don't. So I'm going to take them to a friend of mine and have him, he has a registered place. So he's going to process them for me. And I have to have a label on them. Says, my name, address, yada, 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 all that. So I've got to have an approved label. Now, here's the funny thing, is let's say that I did have a state-approved facility. Number one, it has to be a standalone building. Number two, it has to have a bunch of refrigerators and freezers and stuff like that in there. And I cannot have, in order to have a state-approved facility, I cannot have just freezers in my house. It has to be a separate, standalone place. So I'm going to use my buddy's place as the storage facility. So whenever I need something, I'm just going to do, hey, we're meeting Saturday morning. If you want your birds, come Saturday morning, and I'm going to take all of them there. And so I guess just in time processing, so to speak. So I think that's about it. That's what I've learned. I'll keep you up to date. But I'll let you know how it goes with the yoga studios and stuff like that. But I was just thinking of places that are high volume people that eat clean, that eat healthy, and so that's what I was thinking. So anyway, hope this makes sense, and if I can do it, you can too. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Bye.